Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back. Today we're going to be getting into episode 13 of season 2 for solo leveling. I believe this is the season finale. I'm not mistaken because I've been mistaken. Hope y'all are having a good day. It's been another long week for Mr. Josh. Finally finishing up most of the move. I just finally turned in my keys and everything for my old place. Man, it was kind of sad though, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I'm done cleaning out a place as I'm moving and kind of sitting there with it completely empty, kind of like how when I arrived originally, it always makes me a little nostalgic or melancholy, just about kind of closing a chapter of your life, you know. But obviously a good thing too. But it was just, I don't know. It's always a little sad because you know how much time you spent there. I was at my last place for, I think, 3 years. So that's the longest place I've lived at since I did move out of my parents' place after college and whatnot. So, but yeah, it's going well though. We got the setup here. I have Miss Jello right below me. Say hi, Jello. All right. Anyways, let's get back to soul leveling, guys. Sorry, I go off on tangents all the time. Let's recap the character ratings. We gave MVP to the animators, or just the production staff in general. You know, all of last episode was freaking peak. Such good animation. Soundtrack was great. The Black Ant did not stand a chance at the end of the day. That's for damn sure. For the best moment, we gave that to JINWOO when he just tanked that punch from the ant. It was no big deal. So badass. And then for the funniest moment, we gave that to Gina for when she saw JINWOO on the TV and was like, how the fuck did he get there? She was freaking out. But yeah, I'm a little curious on how this last episode will go. I guess we kind of need to tie in some loose ends with the fallout of this Jeju Island operation. I'm assuming at this point it's successful, but I bet it'll be more about how the world is gonna react to JINWOO kind of saving the day. He's definitely gonna be well known as a hunter after this point. Like, for example, Dongsu is gonna see him and be like, damn, is Dongsu even gonna want to come after him? I don't know. We'll see. If y'all enjoy these reactions, consider dropping a like, subscribing, check out the Patreon if y'all want to check out some of my other content or just want uncut reactions. We usually have them up early, although for this obviously it doesn't really matter because I think I've heard that the 3rd season is going to take a long time to come out. So unless y'all are watching this a few years from now, you won't get any early access. But anyways, let's go ahead and get in these episodes, y'all.
カメラを止めてもらえますか。はい。急いで。じゃないと壊します。わかりました。
Damn, real one, JINWOO.
ソンハンター、ビョングに何をするつもりなんですか。何をしようとしているか。
No way. Dude, he's gonna extract him and use...
起きろ。
Oh, that's badass, man. I did not call this at all. I was trying to figure out what he was gonna do. So cool, man. Damn, so they literally know how his power works now too. Really? Bro, having a healer extracted is gonna be so freaking clutch. Dude. Aww. Aww. That's so sweet.
ソンハンター、あなたがこれからもハンターとして戦い続けるんであれば、ビョングの力は貴重な戦力でしょう。あいつは戦いを望まない。
Is he gonna let him go?
あいつをまた戦場に立たせることはしてほしくありません。レッドゲートの時と同じですね。でも今回は命令ではなく切実な頼みのようだ。
Yeah. I like that. Oh, does he still recognize him and everything? Oh. This is gonna make me cry, dude. Oh. Some good respect there. Put some respect to his name. You're the fool. Accept your defeat, beige. Yeah. Jeez, man. This literally looks like a World War II or something with like the gunship shooting up. Oh man. Yeah, that is nice. XP farming. Dude, when do you get this fucking sword? Oh, okay. He just keeps leveling up. Ooh. Hey, level 100. Huge milestone. Huge. Oh man, I don't like this. Sheesh. I don't know. Something's freaky about this, bro. Can talk to him. At least he seems loyal. Suck up. Alright. I don't know, black ants. Beru. He's gonna extract all their souls, bro. Dude, he's just gonna have the biggest army ever. Dude, crazy, bro. Hey! Oh, I love this. Don't you mess with Mr. Sung. Oh my god, dude. Thing's like a jet. And I was wondering what was giving it the shield. I was like, do they have technology for that or something? Dude, he makes all the other S ranks look like little babies now. It's crazy. Squad. Squad up. Pretty much the biggest threat we've known throughout the show. Damn, there's still more though? What country is this? Damn. Oh my god, dude. Wow, that's so cool.
情子供じゃなくてあの黒い槍であればもう少し楽しめたはずなんだが残念だ。
So seems like there's some other S ranks out there who might be as strong enough to challenge Jinwoo.
S 級ハンターソンジヌさんが喧嘩台に向かっています。今回のレードにおいて彼の活躍は大きい。
No shit, bro.
ソンハンターなしに成功はなかったとも言われています。
Some saying. Are you kidding me? It's facts. They all would have been massacred if he wasn't there.
まずはこの度の第4次ジェジュ島レイドにおけるご助力ソンハンターにはいずれ望む形で報いることをお約束しましょう。
わかりました。
You better begin a fat reward.
それで今後はどのように活動されるおつもりですか？
Yeah, where does the show go from here, man?
この度のレイドであなたは国内外問わずその力を示す、接触してくる者もいるでしょう。教会としてもそれを静観するわけにはいかないのです。あなたはこれからその力を持ってどこで何をされるのかと。
It's gonna take over the world.
自分のギルドを立ち上げたいと思っています。
Fine. That'd be a good next step. Feel like people would flock to him too.
こうやって地道に人知れず仕事をこなすんが真の男っちゅうもんやろ。さすがスマスター。何をや、ここは立ち入り禁止区域や。
Who is that?
あれそなおな。
あ、何やて。何者か知らんけどここは許可なくだ。
What the hell?
しゃがれると耳が痛い。しばし眠らせただけだ。ところで確認はできたか？
ああ、あいつの力で間違いない。
妙な話だ。あの者が
気になるなら会って聞け。
会うことがあればな。では、こ
Damn.
こでの用は済んだ。
They're talking about JINWOO, right?
一人はここに来ているようだが。
この辺りはあの者に任せればよかろう。
関わりたくないということか。
狩りは予定通り開始する。変更はない。
What are these magic beasts up to, bro?
それにしても臭いな。あの女が見れば騒ぎ立てそうだ。
Dude, okay, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about the next steps now.
ああ、さっきゴー会長から許可をもらった。
本当ですか？じゃあ急いで事務所を探しますね。ちょっとジル君、私をギルドで雇ってください。
Nope, she's underage. Can't do it, bro. God damn it.
この高速道路の先に？
ええ、B 級ゲートが発生しました。
道理で。
今、ハンターの手配をしていますが、事態の収集には時間がかかりそうです。
よければそのゲートを。
He's like, I'll take it. Take it on. Dude, he could take a B rank on in like 2 seconds now.
ゲートを閉じに来た。
はい、話は課長からですが、他のハンターたちの到着にはもう少し時間が必要そうです。
What are you, a rookie? He's solo leveling.
これは
Uh-oh.
いや、ここ絶対にレッドゲートだろう。こんなことなら母さんに遅くなるって伝えてくれて。
I wonder if he can teleport outside a red gate. Dude, crazy, man. It's insane that he can like summon all of them at once too.
彼も来ていましたね。
今回のレイドで思い知らされました。私はまだまだ未熟です。私はあの人に追いつきたい。あの人に並び立ちたい。
Yeah, good luck with that, to be honest.
私は強くなりたい。
She's inspired though.
ハンターは狩りをするために生まれた。常に死と隣り合わせる世界。それでもハンターは戦いに身を投じる。彼らの戦う目的はそれぞれ違う。
It's a cute little compilation here.
運命に抗う。
Dude, I want more of his dad so bad.
ただ狩り続けるだけ。まだ誰も狩りをやめる気はない。
Badass, bro. He's too cool. With the suit on and everything.
次の獲物はドイツだ。
This is the intro of the first season, right? Gotta pay the bills, bills, bills. Good stuff, good stuff. Definitely I mean, obviously much like grander scale, grander scale, higher stakes. That's what I meant to say, not hyper stakes. Really well done, man. It seems like season 3 is probably going to be much more about like those other magical beasts. Like those 2 ones that we just saw definitely seem to be like intelligent or leader types. You know, they have some kind of like authority over the other magical beasts to some degree, like being able to transport in and out. All right, y'all, season 2 in the wraps here. Definitely a very strong season. I'd say probably the strengths of this season overall were just seeing so much more of the S ranks and a lot more characters. I mean, I wouldn't say more characters in general than season 1, but I don't know, it was cool seeing like the powers of the universe a little bit more. I don't know, I wouldn't say that it was better than season 1. I think season 1 was kind of like fun in terms of like seeing Jinwoo's progress the whole time, because in this season it's not as much about the progress, although he does obviously progress. It's a lot more about the plot line with Jeju Island and Jinwoo becoming an S rank and all these things. And I think that obviously led to a lot more like peak animated fights or sick fights, but I don't know. I don't want to, slander season 1. Season 1 was also extremely good in my opinion, just in very different ways. But thoroughly enjoyed this season. I mean, the epitome of this season is Jinwoo is smooth as butter, badass, OP, all the above. Strength-wise, Jinwoo is him. But yeah, let's talk about the season finale a little bit here. I have to say that one of my favorite parts is earlier on in the episode when Jinwoo extracts Byungga's soul and uses him to heal Chahayin. And I really like both the interaction between Jinwoo and Beck in these moments. Jinwoo really seems to actually respect both the way that Beck requests for him to release Byungga after he uses his healing power. I really like how he understands, like I guess Byungga, he heard like a voice calling to him for him to use his power to heal Chahayin. But I really like how he doesn't like take advantage or isn't like opportunistic about the powers he's able to get from extracting people who have passed, and magical beasts of course too. It's interesting because Byungga probably could have been one of the most useful souls to keep extracted. He doesn't have a healing type now, and of course he can heal himself with those potions and whatnot, but there's limitations to it, as we've seen. So in a lot of ways he is kind of really dropping a huge opportunity for himself to have a really strong soul to use. But Jinwoo's got more respect for the dead than that, unlike I think like what a typical necromancer would be. I think in literature or just stories and whatnot, necromancers are kind of always the evil type. They're anytime you're messing with dead bodies or souls, it tends to have a very dark tone to it. And of course this does to an extent at times, but it's very different in the fact that Jinwoo is much more of a morally straight person than a traditional necromancer would be. So I loved how he kind of like respected what Beck said about Byungga and released his soul. I really like the moment when Byungga also smiles at Beck as he's like kind of being released finally and set to rest. You can see that he still had a lot of his personality there, which I loved. We also get to see that Jinwoo does indeed extract the Black Ant in this episode. Man, that animation and the sound effects that they had during that scene when it's actually like being extracted and its wings are coming out, so cool, man. You could just feel how powerful this thing is. And of course, it can talk. It's a general ranked soul. So first of its kind in terms of the show. I think it is interesting that it can talk and just kind of have dialogue with Jinwoo in general. But it seems to be loyal to him. You know, he's like, hey, you're my king, which honestly kind of, I think, lines up with what an ant would be like too. Like, you know, this whole time he was looking for, you know, the king of the humans to, I guess, face off and test his powers against. And, you know, even though he was beaten, he kind of like respects it in a way. So, and I like the whole thing about like, you know, I wasn't killed, I was reborn. But also a little bit of a weird extraction too, where Jinwoo like kind of goes into like a different dimension for a second. It's completely quiet. I don't know if that's just because of the way that the Black Ant still had a lot of like energy or soul left in him, or if there's something more to it in terms of like the magical power system in general. But that seemed to be a little interesting to me. I'm wondering if that will come back into play at all in the future. By far the most interesting part to me of these episodes though was definitely when we go back to Jeju Island after everything is kind of completed. You know, everyone's you know, kind of mourning the losses and everything, and there's this crew that's going in and kind of doing cleanup, you know, making sure there's no alive ants, and you know, just there to kind of clean up things. And those two, I mean, they're very humanoid looking creatures appear and one of them knocks them out, but they seem to be magical beasts from what I can tell. But they definitely, well, one, they can both talk, although the humans can't understand, but they can talk to each other. And they seem to have a lot of like autonomy and seem like they're more of like leader types. I mean, just by their appearance, they seem to be very intimidating. Like, don't mess with these guys, especially the really like ripped one. The other one kind of looked like the ice elves a little bit from the first couple episodes we had in this season. And he seems to be a little bit more like magical powered based. So, but their dialogue's interesting because I think they talk about Jinwoo a little bit and how he's always kind of been an oddball, like a little bit strange, in that they're confused on why he would help the humans. You know, once again, Jinwoo's not being perceived as a human. He's being perceived as a magical beast by the magical beasts. And, you know, it definitely seems like the system or the player system, you know, maybe meshes your humanity with the magical beast system. So I don't know. Once again, another little hint on that. And we even get that like they sense Jinwoo's father, who was there listening in. And I'm wondering if this was the threat that Jinwoo's father was talking about. Is maybe there's like a actual high command of all the magical beasts that's plotting all these different ways to hunt the humans. So very interesting. And I guess, you know, the fact that they could like smell Jinwoo's father too probably means that Jinwoo's father is also, you know, probably has a similar background as Jinwoo, where he had something happen to him that kind of made him into like a quasi-human, magical beast in this world. They also refer to someone that they're like I'm glad. I don't remember if it was a girl or a guy, but they're like, I'm glad they didn't come because the stench is so bad. And that to me is really interesting. You know, is it just the fact that they smell the magical beast, or that they, you know, in the past they have, you know, had that voice telling them to hunt humans, but, you know, when Jinwoo shows up, they don't have that same command coming in. But in this case, they can smell it, or at least maybe this person they're referring to, or this magical beast they're referring to, can smell it. But that reminds me of Chahain as well. Like, what's with this whole smell thing? There might be something more to Chahain's smell too. Man, it's so interesting. I that's probably the thing I'm like most excited for still in this show, is kind of uncovering the player system and whatnot. It's always kind of been the most interesting part to me, of course, but yeah, like that mystery is still very present, and you can tell, man, the author's just giving us little tidbits, of course. And then, yeah, I guess outside of that, we get, you know, news that Jinwoo is going to start his own guild, which I think makes sense, and he seems like he's been planning that too. It hasn't just been a new thought. You know, I think when he asked Jinho to come work for him, this was probably his intentions. But man, I'm really curious on like who they're going to have join this guild. If maybe some of the other S ranks will jump to him, or he'll be able to kind of like pull in a lot of powerful people or new characters that we'll get to meet because he's more well known at this point. yeah, and maybe he'll even be able to go up against the strongest guilds in the world. I mean, we did see some other, like one of that other S ranks. They didn't say what country it was, but it's from far away. The guy with the swords, that whole move was super cool. Yeah, the other like highly ranked S ranks that like maybe could have taken on this Black Ant, I'm also pretty curious about. But based off the trends of the show, I don't think there's anything stopping JINWOO from becoming the strongest hunter, at least. I don't know about the magic beasts or his father and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like he's just gonna go on a tear this whole series. All right, let's go ahead and get into the character ratings for this episode for MVP, and this is surprising because, you know, the last time I gave this character a character rating was because he died and he went out with such a heartbreaking way. Byung-ga, I'm gonna give it to him for healing Cha-Hae-in. I just really like that whole interaction between Byung-ga, Beck, and JINWOO. All three of them were great in that scene, but I gotta give it to Byung-ga just because he came back in such a good way for, you know, temporarily, and still like maintained so much of his personality and just how important it was to see, you know, kind of show JINWOO's true character here and not being so opportunistic about using his soul in the future. For the best moment, I'm going to give that to, you know, we don't know their names or anything, but to those magical beasts we saw. Especially the really big one I thought was cool. Just so intriguing. Intriguing talking about JINWOO, but not directly talking about his father, it seems. The whole smelling thing. Man, I gotta know. And then for the funniest moment, not really any funny moments, so we'll go ahead and skip over that category for this time. And yeah, I think that'll do it for season 2, y'all. Appreciate y'all if you have been following on for this season, or if you're from the first season watching my channel. I appreciate all the time you spent with me. Man, a lot of fun watching this show. Now we're all in it for the waiting game. Like I was saying earlier, I've heard it's gonna be like 2 or 3 years at least, something like that. But man, if they keep up this quality of animation, it'll be worth it, y'all. We just gotta be patient. But yeah, I hope you all have a really good rest of your day and a good week, and I will catch you next time. Peace.